here, and I want to do my daily tip. So, good afternoon. My name is Brad Micklin, the managing member of the Micklin Law Group. We are a law firm concentrated in men's and fathers' rights in divorce, custody, and family law issues, with offices in Nutley, Montclair, New Jersey. Today's video is my daily tip where I come on, hopefully, usually around 4 o'clock every day, and I try to give a small piece of advice onto an important topic that I find that comes up often for my clients. It's not extensive and certainly not conclusive to the point, but it's just something to kind of give you some guidance. Today I want to talk about how to defend against paternity tests in New Jersey. And trust me, that's very difficult and very limited. The test itself, once taken, is extremely accurate. So don't expect to be able to use any kind of defense that the testing was inaccurate or the test procedure is not acceptable. This day and time, they are. But there are some legal defenses that may exist in your case that you should research before you start going forward into this kind of litigation. And this is not about taking the test. You're probably going to have to take the test if you've been noticed by the court and it served you properly. That's an issue for a different day. But if you had been tested, there are some defenses that you want to look into. The first is what in New Jersey is called the presumption of paternity. And that law says if a child is born to a couple that's married, the husband is presumed to be, or it could be the wife in the same-sex marriage, hasn't come up yet, but the other parent is presumed to be the parent of that child. And the presumption cannot be rebutted with a negative drug test, or a paternity test, sorry. There has to be something more. The defenses are limited to that they couldn't have had intercourse because there wasn't any way they could have physical contact, or the other party was incapable of performing. Either the man was impotent, or if it was a same-sex couple, that they didn't have the proper in vitro process. That's the best defense, but it's a difficult one because not often will you find that the person was married, but you should research into that issue. There is always that chance if you had a long-distance relationship. A lot of times paternity tests are coming up long after your relationship or long after the child was born, and there could be those issues. But at least you want to look into it because it's the strongest defense that you'll have, even if you test as that child's parent or the child's father. That presumption of paternity will override that presumption. It's an archaic law, but it's still in the book, so you might as well use it. If that's not accepted or available to you, you can argue something called in loco parentis, which is Latin for in the shoes of the parent. It means that there's somebody else who has been living like and holding this child out as if it was his or her own. The purpose of paternity in New Jersey is largely to enforce child support, to make sure that the state doesn't have to support the parent or the child, any kind of needy family. So they want to find the other parent to get support. If there is already a person acting like this person's parent, holding the child out as his or her own and supporting the child, then you might be able to raise that as a defense, even if you have a paternity test that indicates you are the father. Because ultimately it's going to turn on the best interest of the child. So that's my tip for today. Again, it's just a concise tip on one issue. It's not exclusive or exhaustive. If you do have this issue, I'd certainly recommend you talk to a lawyer or do some research at least before you walk in and try to use them. If this information helps you, I'd appreciate it if you give it a like and share it on the social media that you're watching it so that other people get to see it. And you can also subscribe and click for notifications so that you'll get notified when I do go online. I try to do this type of video every day, usually around 4 o'clock. Then I do my how-to video usually once a week, and I do a webinar at the end of each month. If there's any information you're looking to have or see, let me know. Send me a message, either through the medium that you're seeing or at my email at brad@micklinlawgroup.com. With that, I'm going to sign off and wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day.